Checkpoint Charlie has long been a magnet for tourists. Now locals too are expected to flock to the iconic former border crossing to revisit life in divided Berlin. The panorama transports visitors back to 1980s Berlin. It shows the view from West Berlin into the east on a grey November day. Music mixed with audio recordings from the era enhanced the experience.
I've still got goosebumps. It would be impossible to imagine it, what I've just seen. I mean, I've seen the pictures on TV, but here you're in the middle of it, part of it. It's fascinating.
It was very impressive. You really get a feel for the historical background.
Yadegar Asisi, an artist with Persian roots, spent 3.5 years working on the panorama.
We're
5 meters from the Berlin Wall, looking over it from the west to the east. We see people living next to this wall, but they don't appear to register that they're living next to the Berlin Wall.
Asisi portrays day-to-day life on both sides of the wall. Evoking an atmosphere is more important to the artist than historical accuracy. But his view is that of an historical witness. Asisi lived in this very neighbourhood for a number of years.
I experienced almost everything you see here. I didn't have to research it. My research was in my brain.
The 57-year-old artist was born in Vienna and grew up in East Germany. In 1978, he was deported to West Berlin, where he lived close to the wall. The Iron Curtain was part of his neighbourhood. For the panorama, he reassembled this world on his computer using drawings and countless photos that he shot with actors.
It's not so easy to create the patina of this era. I had to find just the right accessories to make the era come to life, from the dilapidated facades to the old gumball machines. You have to be very consistent.
The 15-metre-high and 60-metre-long panorama required the building of its very own rotunda and visitor tower. 20 rolls of fabric were printed and tacked together. It was a huge logistical and financial challenge.
The problem with the panorama is that everything is huge and expensive. It's hard to believe that an individual artist can pull it off.
But his perseverance has paid off. In 2003, his first gigantic panorama depicting Mount Everest was a huge success. His next nature panorama of the Amazon was even larger and more spectacular. To research his panorama of the ancient city of Pergamon, he travelled to the archaeological site in Turkey. The work depicted one day in the year 129 AD. Asisi takes all of his pictures from one point of view. That is always his approach. His 360-degree works have long since become a lucrative business. His wall panorama marks the first time he has chosen a theme from contemporary history.
People will leave here saying, I just stood next to the Berlin Wall. The memory will stay very real. It might trigger more thoughts. How would I cope with this? Or the realization that I adjust to many things in my job and private life. It invites many questions, and maybe even gives a few answers.
For those who experienced the Berlin Wall, the panorama brings back memories. And those who didn't leave with a clear idea of what life was like in the shadow of the wall.